Hello and welcome back everyone to our Total War 3 Kingdoms series where we are playing as Yuan Shao, historically the leader of the coalition against the tyrant Dong Zhuo. The coalition which of course did not succeed, as that is where we are starting with this historical date in the game, whereby the coalition disintegrated upon failing to chase down Dong Zhuo. So, where are we in the game exactly? Well, we have taken our first steps into expansion to the southern coast over here, the coast along the Golden River, and we've taken the capital part of the province of Hunan. And we're going to have to move over to Zhaoge over here to finish the province up, but that is held by Huang Shao, a rather nasty Yellow Turban general over there. It's going to be a very tough fight if we do run into one of his main armies. We're actually hoping to rely on Liu Bei over in the Dong region, roughly over here behind these mountains, to distract Huang Shao in the Puyang city over here, so that he can sort this out and distract him from us. And therefore it should be a fairly easy walk into Zhaoge if that is the case. If not, we're going to have a tough time on our hands. We are currently waiting to replenish over here, and I am wondering about actually just filling up Yuan Shao's slots over here, get one more unit in, but what exactly do we want is the question there. Probably some sort of spear infantry. For my money there, I don't mind G Militia, so listen on the basic side, but we do need to worry about our upkeep at the moment and our income. We might want to go for some Warriors of Yi, but rather on the expensive side, to be honest. I think we're really going to be hoping to rely on our cavalry and Yuan Shao himself, so I think just some more G Militia really would help us out there. So that's all dandy there. That should take 2 turns. That's absolutely fine, because it's going to take about 3 to fully replenish everything in this army, so that's okay. So we're going to sit around for a bit, wait for that to muster up, double check our reforms. We get another reform in 3 turns, and off screen I did take a reform in the previous episode. We went for regional commissioners. That reduces our recruitment cost faction-wide by 8%. I do like to try and rush down to this 10% replenishment as soon as possible, because replenishment can be rather limited in this game, and there's not a lot of ways to increase that without going down very specific building chains, which don't provide a lot of other bonuses there. We do have a court position available, our Chancellor, and that increases income from peasantry, but it will be a plus 200 character salary on top, so we need to figure out whether that's really worth it. What we can do is actually look at our populations, our food incomes, and our public order at the moment, because what we really want to do is have a look at our treasury, and we're locked at the moment. We need a greater faction prestige, which is, I've got to be honest, a bit of a limiting factor in this game, whereby you have to increase your prestige through here to be able to adjust your own tax rate. Won't be too long until we do upgrade to the second marquee though. We do need only 10 prestige points over there. But it's just a little bit limiting at the moment, because the extra income would really help us out there. Is there anything else we can do? Let's go to diplomacy before we end our turn. Go to quick deals and look for trade agreements. I think, like I said in the previous episode, not overly keen on trading with Wang Quang over here. I might want to vassalize him later, so a trade agreement would be decent there, but I generally go for the complete domination, just annex him. So we're going to leave that open for now and save that trade agreement for someone else who might even grant us greater income from that. Coalitions, perhaps we can go with Wang Quang, but it's not necessarily liking that at the moment. Neither is really anyone else. Non-aggression pacts, just to keep us a little safer, might go for Liu Chong over here. Go for that, negotiate it a bit harder and see what we can do to help us out. Do we have any terrible ancillaries? We do have a clay ox over here. He's got a jade sickle over here, which looks better on paper than it really is. I'm going to keep this classical filial piety for that's 10 satisfaction, so I'm not going to trade that off. And that's giving us a positive proposal on this. We're actually going to try and request a tiny amount of money off of him, but it's not really going to be the case. So maybe just a standard straight up payment. Let's see what we can get off of him. 254, that's not too bad. Should roughly pay for our G militias. That's very nice indeed. So that's going to secure our flank just that little bit more on the end turn there. We do get mission success over there for recruiting, so we get more replenishment rate, excellent, and we get some bonus experience per turn everywhere. There's just some messages which should have popped up previously, just getting a bit more lineage over time. That's all good, and I think really what we can do is just end our turn there and get on with this replenishment here. Okay, so at the end turn there, we do have the mission to actually destroy and annex Hanfu in Anping to the north there, but with that we do get the Hanfu supplication event, whereby we get the option to not interfere over there, and that will actually improve our relations with Gongsun Zan. But we do also get the option to just straight up confederate Hanfu, which is, following the story, may be seen as an act of treachery. We will of course confederate Hanfu, but that will lead to an immediate war with Gongsun Zan. So we're going to go for that, which is very, very nice indeed. That will ruin our upkeep and income. But we do get the path of glory there, so more population growth, which means more taxation, more public order, and we get income from peasantry, and this is for 5 turns. So that will help us out generally in the long run. We do get the follow-up mission to destroy Gongsun Zan, which repeats that path of glory. Reward there. So we're going to rank up as well. And what are we doing? So this is leading towards getting more assignments and armies. However, we have 4 points to spend here. I'm going to get 1 point into assignment, since that unlocks one more assignment there for us and some more character experience faction wide. But I really like the idea of getting administrators up. Administrators are extremely useful, and even just progressing to this part reduces our overall character salary by 5%, helping us out there. And I'm actually going to put 1 point into trying to get more trade agreements in the future, because trade is a really good form of income, of course. So our next rank will be a true marquis, whereby we we're granted captain retinues or advanced captain retinues, and the option to vassalize other main factions, which is rather nice indeed. We'll certainly be trying to go for that. So what else have we got? Buildings we've got in where we've built up a labour camp, which is excellent, but in order to upgrade any further, we do need to upgrade to a large town. We're going to put that on hold just for the moment. Got a few things, just going to skip through this, don't want the long list, nothing overly useful. But, so what's happened from taking over Hanfu? We have the legendary general Zhang He, certainly going to keep him, and he's accompanied by Xin Ping over here. We do have another army led by Hanfu himself, and we have Shun Yu. Ooh, that's very nice indeed. Shun Yu, a legendary general, actually famous for serving Cao Cao in real history. And Cao Cao's probably most trusted and useful advisor there. So this is a strategist. He's going to be helping with his kind of huge military supplies and ammunition in his retinue. In fact, that's pretty damn decent already. So he's going to be helping with trade as well and income from commerce. He does have some fair buffs and debuffs. This minus 100% melee evasion and armor on enemies is excellent. But we won't be getting to use that anytime soon, because we need to recall both of these generals because they're dragging down our upkeep at the moment and such. So let's recall everyone here. So disband Hanfu there, and unfortunately disband Xin Yu over here. So that does only leave us with 210 or minus 210 income at the moment. Not completely a problem. What we can do is going to have to say goodbye, I think, to 1 or 2 useless generals over here. So Han Lian, not going to be using her anytime soon. We're going to simply release rather than banish. I don't want to be dealing with the less satisfaction faction wide at the moment. That is only for 5 turns, but I just don't want to be dealing with it at the moment. So let's release them from service, and we can release, I think, we'll just double check who is in real service over here. We have Xin Ping, and what about assignments? Who's on assignment? I think it's just Yen Tan, isn't it? It certainly is. So let's get rid of Xin Ping, release them, thank you very much. Have a lot of these people actually. Han Tong can probably leave as well. That's probably for the best there. Let's release them. And we'll certainly get an administrator up to help us out with some income as well. Sort of stat out some satisfaction, sort that out as well. Zhang He is not too bad for it, so we get perhaps Yuan Shao on some, or even Yan Liang. So the point of administrators is largely to reduce corruption, get characters satisfied, and increase income, of course. So I think despite having -5 public order, we're going to get Yuan Shao on board somewhat because he does increase food production and reduces mustering terms. So I think we're going to get him on probably Wei at the moment because that does have the better public order to take him at the moment. And what about the peasantry income? I certainly want that on 265 to 295. Yeah, let's go to Wei, and then that can grow from there. So that's now brought us up to 398 income in total, which is excellent. And we'll certainly be able to work with that. What are we going to do with this army over here, though? Because we did actually accidentally disband the general over there. Probably going to have to just wait, unfortunately. I want really to rush into Pingyuan over here because that does have salt, and that will be a really nice income province for us and help sort us out there. So I might actually move up, see if we can think about people to recruit. Yan Liang wouldn't be too bad, but that's going to drag our income back down again. Shu Yo wouldn't be necessarily bad. Can we just get some people over here? Daring infantry, maybe just some saber or axe band would be nice. The axe band I think is generally a tad on the better side. It's better against shields as well. I think we're going to be running on the very, very fine line of economy here at the moment. Going to be running very, very low on income. We can see that there is a decent standing army in Pingyuan at the moment, as well as a fair garrison, so we might have to just wait until we do take Zhaoge to help us out with our economy there. Is there anything else we can spend money on at the moment? Not just yet, just shy of upgrading over here. That's not so bad. We can certainly wait. Can we do any assignments to help out actually? Have Yen Tan helping out, so we're not really getting any income from commerce at the moment, so we can't really do anything unfortunately there. So let's carry on and see what we can do about that. I think really we're going to just try and move into Zhaoge at the moment, despite hindering our replenishments at the moment. We need to get the movement on because that is wide open for the taking. And at the end turn, we're ready to finally move over to Huanei and Zhaoge and such. So we're going to go straight into there because we are losing military supplies. We're not going to delegate that. I think we are going to try and fight that manually. Is that open field? It certainly is. Let's go straight in. Okay, once again, pretty much the same tactics as we've done in these previous few battles here. Just going to try and charge on ahead to try and spot with Yuan Shao because the snow is prohibiting our sight a little bit. And here we go. So we don't have the largest of armies, just going to waste a little bit of their ammo there. They do have to worry about some Yellow Turban horsemen, which will be the hardest fights then. Some archer captain. Want to probably look at them to reduce the enemy's morale, get out of their range at the moment. Let's see what we can do about that. I think of course come from either side with our cavalry. Try and pinch them in to begin with, struggling with the terrain over there at the moment. And we will just push up with our infantry to begin with. And of course our archers can move in as well. We'll keep our saber militia on the flanks ready to curl around if need be. Actually deal some decent flanking damage. Sit Yuan Shao on the hill though, that should give us some sort of sight over the enemy. So it largely swordsmen, wasn't it? So I think we can get away with moving our cavalry in really. If we just move in with Yuan Shao a tad, how does he stack up against the cavalry there? It should be fine, just need to watch out again for the Yellow Turban warriors I think. So if we move in here and support him with our cavalry, and once the enemy has moved over, we can come in with our right flank cavalry. Just move up our archers a tad, try and get firing, I think, onto the enemy infantry a bit. Should have some shields there. Yeah, that's going to hinder our stuff a little bit. Let's watch out over here for that cavalry. Charge right into these archers. Get our own archers, I think, firing on this cavalry to distract them a tad. Move up a little with our infantry here. We're doing okay in this particular battle, overwhelming them. We can see they are wavering, they've taken a fair bit of damage. Not taking a lot of damage ourselves, which is great. The fact that we're using melee cavalry does mean they can sit in there and take a few hits, but we're going to cycle charge for now, just to get the hit onto these archers over here, so we don't get so bogged down with that enemy infantry there. We're going to just replace or realign our archers and maybe even fire onto the backs of these swordsmen. Chase down the archers so they don't come back. Don't want them firing in our flank, and we're just going to be wary, I think, of the enemy cavalry over here. Just bring in our melee infantry. Don't want to take so many losses, of course, but it's probably going to be the case. Let's try and run back over here. Might just have to brace. Yeah, we're going to have to take a hit, are we? No, they're not too worried about our swordsmen over here. So certainly try and carry on and hit those with our archers. Absolutely, just give them a direct attack order there. What we can do is actually pin them in, take a hit with our infantry here, and just move up with our militia spears over here. Bring back our main bodies over here. So we have forgotten about them, sorry to say. And there we go, we are able to stand up over here. Even though we're saving militia, we're shooting the enemy in the back. That will certainly hurt, and we're bringing up the rear with some spear militia as well. And that, absolutely lovely. Just need to cancel these archers firing on us at the minute. Just circle round, make sure the enemy saving militia is just a bit bothered, a bit preoccupied there. And we've routed off them over there. That's excellent. So, going to get both units of our own saber militia to try and hold down these Yellow Turban warriors. Get the charge in here as they're retreating and running away. Excellent. Fairly simple battle as they go. And we're just going to stop our archers from firing as well, because we're going to start taking friendly fire from them. I might take one unit of cavalry just to chase this down and make sure it doesn't return. And we're going to protect our own archers and such over here. And get these saber militia back in and try and bring the enemy round with our own cavalry. Just going to run through them a little bit, so that's okay. We can charge on through. Yeah, see, they are coming back now. So just going to fire at them and try and make contact with our spears over here. They are still wavering, coming back on low morale there. And there we go, yeah, they are shattered now, which is excellent. We don't have to worry about them again. Looks like our infantry is going to start making contact over here, so just watch out over here. And we'll back up with the Yuan Shao and such to finish this off. Okay, so taking a few losses on that battle, but nothing really to complain about there. 46, absolutely fine. Gonna go for... we're gonna go for secure and occupy once again, just to help our replenishment and such, so we can keep pushing northwards now. And that has eliminated on this side of the river the Yellow Turban threat. It looks like they've lost... Yeah, it's only Yuan Shao in Dong over here. I'm not going to try and move into that. I am going to leave that to Liu Bei over here, because he does control the Dongping mine. So he should be trying to go for that as soon as possible there. Losing a few military supplies over here, but nothing really to complain about once again. Going to look at going for Pingyuan. What's the garrison over here is not particularly substantial at all. We should be okay to take that, even with just Zhang He over here. So we're going to move over a little bit. So it's going to hurt our mustering times, but not to worry there. I think Zhang He should be perfectly capable of taking that, so long as an army doesn't reinforce from Bohai in the north. But we're going to have to watch out because Gongsun Zan will be coming around from Yobei Ping in the north here and go around into Bohai and probably take that for himself. Once again in the red with our income, and that's because Hanfu and Xunyu are once again ready and therefore being paid. Might want to look at guessing another administrator up, perhaps in Huanei. Let's look at the income there. It's industry and peasantry. So that's what we're going to try and focus on. It is largely a peasantry base, but the income from industry is coming from this one building over here. I think really it's probably best to get the extra income from as a base over here and the food income from this. So upgrade that. We'll go to diplomacy and we'll try, I think, and get some food trade off to help us out a little bit. Is there anyone particularly poor on food? Liu Dai, Wang Quang, so there's a few people about. I think we go and help out Liu Dai for now, because he's rather starved for it. And if we offer food trade, not loads and loads, because we've got to be prepared for any particular shortages on our part. So we'll trade 18 at the moment, and we will request a payment just to get us into the green there. That's really not enough, for my liking. I think we will go for, what about Liu Chong? He's got a bit of money, he's got some food, but should be okay for that, shouldn't we? We will offer 20 food, so a little bit more, and we will request a regular payment. We've got much more room to work with here, so we're just going to put this up until that says about 0. Just gets the maximum possible money out of him there. I think, that's going to be around 200, isn't it? That's 213, that's absolutely fine. I don't think we really want to trade any ancillaries to push that further, so we'll just go for that. And there we go. We've got a positive income at least. And that's all we can ask for. So let's carry on, see if we can take Pingyuan within the next few turns. I don't think we will be able to take Pingyuan anytime soon without Yuan Shao coming into support. Not only because, let's just go through this quickly. Let's go for a better relationship with Xunyu or Yanxi. Going to go for Xunyu because he's a very nice character and I want to try and keep him rather than have him go to Cao Cao perhaps, who he probably does have a very good relationship with. So, bit of a false bit of information here. We do of course see Sui Lie over here in Pingyuan. That's going to hold us off from invading it with Zhang He, but we're actually going to pull back a tad over here, and that's because I did spot over the turns rolling over Huang Shao moving into this forest over here in woodland. And that means that we just can't push in because we'll get ambushed by him, unfortunately. Do have a reform available, and what are we going to go for? I think we're going to go for this replenishment, although we do need to source out our income, don't we? So income from all sources would be very, very useful. We could go for population growth to get that more long-term income, or even try and unlock a new trade agreement, but we're not really using any at the moment. So that's not really helping us too well. We don't need the extra administrating position because those aren't full yet. So I think we're going to go for income from all sources. That'll help us a tiny bit there. It's given us a couple hundred extra actually, and that might mean we want to bolster Zhang He's army rather than go for one full stack over here in Yuan Shao. However, we are able to move once again with Yuan Shao. Now I might want to move over here. That's just about giving us some movement left to go into ambushing stance, and that should cover this road over here where perhaps Huang Shao will try and move across. If he does try and move down to the now open Jiaogue, if he does want to take that from us. Might want to look at our course again and get rid of some people we don't want. Gu Rilen is not particularly needed. We're going to dismiss. Actually, can we get something through? Can we get better relations perhaps through marriage with anyone? Because we could marry into Liu Dai. What about someone who's actually worthwhile at the moment? Liu Dai might stick about. We'll offer marriage to get rid of someone. Yen Shi is not particularly satisfied at the moment, is he? So offer him over. They don't have the best relations, but that's a pretty decent deal, and that actually gives us room to manoeuvre for some more payments from them. They're going to pay us for a lovely diplomatic marriage there, and that's certainly a lot more than what we're looking at for the previous food trade. We're going to stick with that. We don't need to min-max too hard there. Take all the income we can get from that, and I think we might want to look at removing someone else. That's going to make us rather thin on the ground though for courtiers. I think we just get rid of Gu Rilen for that 150 there, because we do still have Lady Wu and Yin Tan to work to do their possible jobs for them, and they'll just be better at it because they're more experienced, and that really does give us some money to work with. Anything else, Yin Tan does have another level available, so I think we're going to use him more for governance at the moment. So redeployment cost, we're going to go for this one I think at the moment, because that gives us an extra available assignment if he is the faction leader or heir or prime minister, and he is in fact the heir at the moment, so that's very nice indeed. Actually, I think we'll also give him the classic filial piety there to increase his satisfaction, which is not the highest there actually. I think that's really all we can do with our limited funds at the moment. I would love to upgrade somewhere, but not to worry. Let's just carry on and see how this armies move over here, shall we? In fact, I might want to just move down here a tad. No, we can't get into the area of influence over here to base out Huang Shao even harder. Not to worry, let's carry on. Very, very interesting position over here actually. Apart from the usual messages over here with wars being declared, we've got a nice ancillary. Ooh, flying daggers are very, very good for more melee damage and 10 instinct. It's very tempting to give that to Yuan Shao, which we might need for this next battle. But it's also probably a little bit more worthwhile to give it to Zhang Hua over here, so he does actually push out some damage rather than evade it. We can always swap them round. Certainly always swap them around in the future. So I think what we're going to do is give that to Yuan Shao at the moment. For more damage would be excellent. Brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. And yeah, so our ambush did fail on Huang Shao, but he wasn't actually at all interested in fighting us, which is very, very interesting indeed. As far as armies stand, we do have the superior army, not only in numbers but unit types as well. Our cavalry advantage is massive. The thing is, I don't think Yuan Shao will be able to stand up to Huang Shao just because of his type of style there. So we're going to quick save, and we are going to try and take this battle just so that he's not in our backs. We should be able to chase him down there because he did retreat. So we can delegate that for a quick, easy victory, but we're going to try and fight this manually. Alrighty guys, we've got a forest battle here, and do not like those because they really restrict your visibility. We're going to try and fight where it's open as much as possible here, because we hover over, that will say a bit of damage resistance, and that's not so bad, but for cavalry that's actually going to will increase our damage resistance, but melee evasion and speed will be hindered just a little too much for our liking there. So we do have the cavalry advantage, and that's what we're going to hope to rely on. We can't currently see the enemy. I'd imagine they're in this sort of area over here. Let's just push on with Yuan Shao to try and spot them. We will press fast forward while this goes through. Where are they? Need some forest spotting really, don't we, from someone? Must be over here in these woods. If we run straight on top of them, won't we? Where the ruddy bloody hell are they? Just past the tree line? You can see on the map it's really just this corner that we can't see into, so you can just try and be a bit careful. Where the bloody hell are they? Where the ruddy bloody hell are they? It's very interesting. Well, we have spotted the enemy, and they did challenge Yuan Shao to a duel over here. I think we're probably going to take that actually. I think we're going to take that. Got no choice now because didn't actually press an option manually. So that heavily suggests they're in this corner over here, of course. If we win that duel, that will certainly help against his retinue. Just pressing the wrong buttons here. There we go. Yuan Shao has emerged victorious, and without taking too much damage himself there. And the enemy is now looking at retreating. They have shown themselves here. We're going to try and take advantage of that by just running in our cavalry onto those retreating units now. That has put Huang Shao into a bit of a frenzy and bolstered him up himself. Just double check we are mounted back up over here. We certainly are. So we need to just press the advantage while we can now. Just bring up our Saber Militia to try and counter any infantry. They just run into the remaining archers over here. Bring ourselves up a little harder as well. Just wait on the side there, and of course bring up with our main line body over here, like so. We're moving to the trees. Yeah, look at that. They do have, of course, some hidden spears, so we're just going to run straight through there. Yeah, and Yuan Shao will not be able to stand up to Huang Shao himself, but it looks like the enemy is largely retreating there. So we're just going to run on top of them, make sure they do shatter properly, take the hill over here, and just run havoc with our own cavalry over here. Just take the hill a bit harder. And I think we'll go in with our Spear Militia, or Saber Militia, and take on the Militia of Virtue over here. Some rather nasty spear infantry. She should be okay to take on. But Huang Shao is the person to beat in this army. He's the real worry. I'm not so worried about the enemy's own main units. Gonna try and take on the Yellow Turban horsemen over here. Run in, like I said, with Theo. Gonna have to run up the hill. Kate Bush would be proud. Come back down with Yuan Shao just to help out over here. We have sorted out the enemy's rousing infantry over here, so they won't be coming back. So a very, very quick rout because we did beat their retinue leader, the general, in that duel, which is why I want to try and take as many duels as possible that you're very likely to win, of course. I think Yuan Shao will be able to source out the archers over here. You can see one of the main traits of these Yellow Turbans is that they're very sneaky. Find it very easy to hide. In fact, Huang Shao should be fine to be beaten by these horsemen over here, the cavalrymen. Should be getting overwhelmed by them. So we'll just fire on the enemy archers over here. Make sure these guys fully rouse off. Looks like they're shattered, so we'll just aid Yuan Shao before he gets overwhelmed, even if it is only archers. Very nice downhill charge here, very, very nice indeed. And it looks like we caught some spearmen as well and truly shattered them. Is this, these archers, they're not unbreakable, are they? No, they're not unbreakable. It's got very good morale, apparently. How are we doing against the Militia of Virtue over here? Get the feeling they might be unbreakable. They've got, yeah, they certainly are. So we're going to be fighting to the last man over here. But that's not to worry. They're not quite as good as our own Saber Militia. I think what I'll do is just bring Yuan Shao up to help out over there. We have started to rout Huang Shao, so we'll just take some cavalry over here and just make sure he routs off fully. And that will be a done deal and a very nice battle indeed. Just rush in over here, make sure these spears are run down as easy as possible. Stop our archers from firing so that we don't get any more friendly fire, and we should be alright to just bash down these units over here. There we go, very, very nice, decisive victory indeed. That's going to give us a little bit of loot. 41 losses, not too bad at all. A little bit of lineage to play around with. That is not quite going to kill Yuan Shao, or Huang Shao rather, because he is a legendary character. He does have some resilience. But they will force him off the field. And I don't think we're going to take the replenishment here. It's not quite so useful. Going to take some income there. So we are struggling for that. That is going to force his army off the field there for now, which is excellent. But because he's not an enlightened Yellow Turban, can't actually go for peace because of that battle. So that's a shame. So do have the titles there now for Master of the Hunt by winning a battle where one of your characters present has a rival. We have the title of Earth Dragon with win a battle where you and your allies lose 200 or less men, which is really, really nice indeed. So, that has opened up Pingyuan once again. We do have Yang Zhong over here trying to look at that. I think what we're going to do is get a second character over here. And I think Yen Liang might actually be the better option there. A strategist would certainly help with military supplies, but we want to go for Liang, I think, for like cavalry and just the extra fighting character over there. Do we go for another unit there? Don't think so. Want to keep our tight belt on our income for the moment because we are relying on diplomacy at the moment. It will be for a long time. But I think that is unfortunately all we have time for today, ladies and gentlemen. A very decisive and useful battle there, so we don't have a major threat building on our flank down here. And we have removed the Yellow Turbans from this side of the river, which is very, very useful indeed. I hope you've enjoyed the video though. Thank you very much for watching once again. Please do leave your thoughts and feedback in the comments section below. It's always very useful and a joy to read your thoughts there. But I've been the Edified Gamer, and I hope all of your nights and days are auspicious. Goodbye.